Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Resilience Live. We are on Instagram, we're on YouTube, we are on Facebook, and this is my weekly show where I go for about half an hour or so every Friday at 11 a.m. UK time to talk about all things to do with resilience, well-being, success, progress in your life. And we could talk about things related to work, we could talk about things related to your personal life. I really don't separate the two, to be honest. We often talk about work and life, and that always perplexed me a little bit because it's like, well, there's work and then there's life. So what's the opposite of life? If I'm working and I'm not in life, then what am I in? Death? And it's just life. Everything is life. And there's a Zen saying, which is wherever you go, there you are. So wherever you go, there you are. So whether you're at work, whether you're at home, it's you. It's all you, it's all the same stuff going on inside. And so, if you're having a tough time at work, it's probably going to affect your home life. If you're having a tough time at home, it's probably going to affect your work life. So you're just one human being navigating life. And so that's how I see things. That's what I do when I speak and teach and write, is that it's all about the human. It's all about oneness of everything that's in you. And I've got a few thumbs up, I think, on Facebook. So whoever's there watching, do pop in the comments and let me know. I'd love to know who is there this morning. We'll just give it a couple of minutes, see if anyone else joins. I can't see everybody who's watching on all the platforms. So if you're there and you want to pop a comment in to say hello, that would be great. And as always, as we go through, I like to have comments and questions because it's really about the conversation. Those of you who know me will know that I can talk forever and I could talk to myself. I always talk to myself. But it's much more fun when people engage and I chat with people and we have a bit of a conversation because I like to hear from people about what they're going through and, how people are at the moment, especially in England. It's a very challenging time financially in particular for a lot of people. There's a lot of stress out there, a lot of fear. There's like, how do I get by? How do I pay my energy bills? There's inflation. We've got changes in leadership in government, and that's all over the place. And we just live in a society that is pummeling us with stress and fear and problems, and many of which we can't control. You and I can't control the economy. You and I can't control what the government do. You and I can't control the energy bills and all that sort of stuff. And it's really dysfunctional. I think we're a bit messed up, to be honest. There's something about our modern culture that is wildly dysfunctional. Hello, Jimmy. Hi, gorgeous. How are you doing? Um, so, I think we've got to allow ourselves to realize that we are being pummeled with stress and fear and problems and catastrophes and worries. And every day, if you watch the news, you turn it on and it's like, here's this problem, here's this problem. I did this thing once where I looked at the main homepage of a particular popular news website, and I've worked out that on the main homepage, looking at everything on there, over 70% of it was negative stories. Negative stories. Now, I'll tell you something, my darlings. You're taking that in every day, it's going to mess you up. It is going into your consciousness and creating the negative energy inside you, putting it inside you, and then you experience it. And, yes, there's negative stuff going on in the world, but there's also a lot of positive stuff. There's also a lot of good stuff. There's also a lot of lovely stuff. And that's so rarely reported. I don't know why. Either we are incredibly unwise or we are in some way sinister, because fear is a very powerful mechanism of control and manipulation. And it keeps all human beings in a very low state of consciousness. And when we're in a low state of consciousness, we don't care about other people. We're only worried about ourselves. We're weak. We're not creative. We're not powerful. We're not loving. I'm going to talk about that a little bit today, actually, because being in a state of fear and stress is so unconducive, not even a word, is now inconducive to our success, our well-being, and our happiness. So I'm going to talk about that now. Let's get into it. My title today was How to Get Out of Your Own Way. So what was that about for me? That was about my own experiences. I always teach from what I'm going through at any given time. And it was my own experiences of being like, oh, there's so much stuff going on. I'm so stuck. There's so many problems. There's so many things that I don't feel good about. And the realization that a lot of it is in me. And that's something that a lot of people don't want to face. Because it's nice to blame the outside world. Like I just said, there's the news and there's all these things out there. And I'm not saying those things aren't there. But I just realized, like, my experience of tension and anxiety and fear and worries and all this stuff, it's within me. And I'm trying to sort myself out and I'm trying to evolve myself and I'm trying to battle with myself to move myself forward. And I just realized that it's all within me. And then I was like, well, if it's in me, then I'm getting in my own way as well as creating it. And this is the thing we don't realize. A lot of the time when we're stressed, when we're struggling, when we're unhappy, we need to get out of our own way. And the problem is when you're stressed and you're struggling, is that the only thing you can focus on is yourself. So the nature of stress and fear and anxiety is it's a self-preservation mechanism. So if you're feeling any of that, it's because all you're focused on is yourself. And it's natural if you think about it. That fear response we have is very animalistic. It comes from there being an immediate threat in front of you that could kill you in some way or harm you. And so you've got to hone down, and it actually happens physically. Your pupils go smaller, you get tunnel vision. All you can see is me, 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 my problems, my problem, the problem in front of me, how I feel, my pains, my worries, my fears, me, 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 me. And you're getting really focused on trying to help yourself and fix yourself and sort yourself out, and you're basically just focused on yourself. It's a very, very low state of consciousness to be in. But if you're stressed, if you're struggling, your primary focus will be on yourself. And you might say, well, of course, that's fine because I need to sort myself out and I've got problems. And so, of course, it's got to be about me. The paradox being is that the more you focus on yourself, the less you're going to get out of the stuff that you're in. So just sit with that for a minute. The more you focus on yourself, just imagine it, because this is what I've been doing recently. I'm like, oh, I feel so, and so I'm focused on myself, myself, and it just amplifies. What you resist persists. We must understand that in terms of consciousness. What you resist persists. Okay, if I'm resisting my tension, I'm resisting my problems, I'm resisting my fears, I'm just giving it energy, making it stronger, compounding it, and it just becomes bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's like, oh my God, I can't go, but I'm drowning in it. So, what you resist persists, and you get really narrow focus, and all you can see is yourself and your problems. You disconnect from other people, you disconnect from relationships, you disconnect from humanity, you disconnect from community, you disconnect from oneness. And oneness is actually the answer. Oneness is remembering that you're not alone, that it's not all about you, and that we are one race, one species, one community, one energy, one consciousness. And it's very hard to reach that state of awareness when you're so stuck on your own problems. So, but that's actually where the answer is. And so, something that came to me the other day is a line that I heard a while ago, which I really loved, which is when you can't take any more, give. So when you can't take any more, give. So when you're there and you're in your I was going to say in your SHIT and you're struggling and you're struggling, me, more problems, whew, you can't take any more. It's too much. And so the answer, the antidote, and how to get out of your own way is to stop focusing on yourself. Stop making everything about you. Expand up and realize that it's not all about you. And I did this in my visualizations yesterday. I visualized my goals every day. And I could see that my problem is I was making everything about me, my survival, my life, what I want, my dreams, and it's not helping. And actually, it's about giving, serving, expressing yourself to aid others. And I think that's actually what we're all here for, to be honest. I always talk about how we all have gifts. What is a gift? A gift is something you give. So, whoever you are, whatever is your gift, we all have many gifts, your natural talents, what you're great at doing, what you love doing, what you're really naturally good at. That's your gift. And a gift is for giving. It's not for you to be like, how can I have my gift? How can I use my gift? Me, my gift, my gift, my gift. No, it's a gift and you give it away. And I think now more than ever, we need to start focusing on others because our society is so selfish, so fractured, so disparate and fragmented that we're all in our little holes thinking about me, my family, me. Whew, we need to expand back out and remember the oneness and start to serve other people and start to put the focus on other people. Start to put the focus on what you can give other people, whether it's people in your workplace, people in your family, people in your community, the wider world. This is how we get out of, I'll give you a little image of it here. If you can see, it's like a funnel. Consciousness, imagine it like a funnel. It's not literally a funnel. But here at the bottom is your stress, and you've got a very, very tiny point of focus, and it's me. And it's tiny tunnel vision. And the antidote to that and getting out of your own way is not sitting down here and trying to fix your stuff. Because what you resist persists. The more you focus, your focus creates your reality. The more you focus on that, you're just getting stuck deeper and deeper. The antidote is to raise your energy, raise your frequency, raise your perception, and open up to the oneness, to wholeness, to pure consciousness that we are all part of, to other people, to all of us together. That's how we get away from all of this stuff down here, not by staying down there going, oh my God, poor me. I'm not saying it's not poor you. Life is hard, right? I get it. But staying down here just doesn't help. It's about raising up, opening your frequency, opening your heart. I'm going to get woo woo. How woo woo do you want to go with me? I tend to hold a lot of my woo woo in because I'm like, oh, people don't get it. I'm like, I don't care. I'm very woo woo. I try and express a little bit of it here, but it really is about that realization that we are here to serve others. And I know if you're struggling, you don't want to hear that. I know if you're stuck in your head worrying about your own life and your own issues, you don't want to hear that. But I implore you to just try it for a moment. Take the focus off yourself and just receive intuitively, not through force. What can you give to the world, to someone else? And don't give to receive. Don't give because you want to feel better. Don't give because you want something back. Don't give because you want to fix your own problems. That's not pure giving. That's manipulation, that's identity, that's ego, that's still lower levels. If we're going high consciousness and you're going to really get out of your own way, it has to be nothing to do with you. It's not about you, little Pinky, and Pinky, what Pinky needs and how Pinky feels. It's not about Pinky. It's about energy, it's about consciousness, it's about the gifts that have come through me that I'm here to give out into the world and share and express. So we can do a little visualization on this if you like, because often if you take this on board and you're like, okay, I can't take any more, so I'm going to give, then you're still, and unless you've really got yourself into a right state, you're still probably going to do it from a state of what we call ego, which is it's still going to be an undertone of like, okay, I'm going to go and give because it's going to make me feel better. I'm going to go and give. So, whatever, trying to get something back. That's not pure. You're going to stay stuck in a low state. So you want to really come at it from a pure giving, pure service. And so I'm going to do a little visualization with you. I said, I'm going to get woo woo. We're going to go woo woo. And if you want to join me, I'd love you to join me on this one. So if you want to, I'd like you to close your eyes and just settle in for a moment and just relax and just pay attention. Just be present. How often are we not present, right? Running away, thinking about this. Oof, come back here. Back here is where life is. Back here in this present moment. This is where life is happening. It's not happening up there. It's not happening tomorrow. It's not happening yesterday. Life is now. So I want you to draw your attention inward. And if you can, just get a sense of the essence of your own being, your own awareness, your own consciousness. And whatever's going on is okay. However you feel, whatever's going on in your body, don't resist it, don't fight it. But just take a moment to draw away from out there and come back home inside yourself. And a few deep breaths. And when I say deep breaths, I mean breaths into the base of your belly. So try and push the breath out into the base of your belly as you breathe in, and then slowly back out. So I'm just going to take a few deep breaths. And now I'd like you to imagine in your mind somehow, whatever your imagination does, whether it's visual or words or whatever, just imagine that there's a circle in your mind. And this circle depicts giving to receive. So label that circle, I give to receive something back. And I want you to imagine that you can walk on, imagine yourself going on through that circle. And when you go through it, just see what images and thoughts come up for you around giving to receive. So I'm going to tell you what comes up for me. So when and just go with it. You don't have to think about this too much. Don't force it. Just what's obvious. What is obvious to you in your life when you give to others because actually you're trying to receive something back yourself. So when I do that, giving to receive is actually a really anxious place. It's a really insecure place. It's like I've got to give to others so they don't reject me, so that they like me. I've got to give to others because I want to receive a sense of worthiness back. And I want to avoid any rejection or punishment. So I'm giving to others because I must. It's a really insecure, small, weak, fragmented sort of energy of giving in order to get something back. And what I get back is not physical, it's the own sense of like, okay, I'm a good person. I'm a good person because I'm doing stuff and I'm helping people. Giving to receive from that energy. And I'd love if you're actually doing this with me, whether live or later on, to put in the comments what you get, because what you get is not what I get. You got to tune into your own consciousness. When I give to receive, what does that feel like? What does that look like? What's the energy of it? What's the truth of what's really going on? So when I give to receive, it's a very impure energy. It's a very weak energy. It's a very insecure energy. And it's never ending. It's exhausting. When I give to receive, it's like I got to give to everybody. I've got to give to everybody. I've got to do more. I've got to do more. I've got to keep doing work. I've got to keep doing stuff. I've got to keep pleasing everybody. I've got to keep everybody in my mind. I've got to serve everybody. I've got to make sure everybody's happy. And that's my giving in order to make myself feel better, in order to make myself feel calm. I'm trying to control. It's actually a mechanism of control. If I can just keep everybody happy, then I'm going to feel better inside. I'm going to feel more stable inside. Never actually works. But that's the low level consciousness of giving to receive. So once you've got a handle on that, and if you want to share the kind of things that come up for you, I want you to then imagine in your mind, you just scrub that out, blank slate, and you've got a blank canvas or whatever it is, just a blank place in your mind. And you're going to draw another circle in your mind. And this one is just giving for the sake of giving. Just give because you love to give. Just give for the sake of giving. And really sit with that energy. There's no, I want something back. It's just, I'm just giving. Give for the sake of giving. And imagine that circle now step into that one. So, what comes up for me is when I give for the sake of giving, it's very calm. I don't need to give to everybody. I can see all the turmoil. I can see people struggling left, right, and center. But I don't focus on all of them and try to save them or give everyone something. It's a very organic process. And the giving may be very small. It may be giving a smile. It may be giving a pat on the back. It may be giving a hello, how are you today? It may be giving a bit of time to have a deeper conversation. It may be giving a little bit of creativity and ideas. But it's very measured, it's very calm, it's not exhausting. And it's just a very calm place of navigating the world a little bit more slowly. And it's like people pop up in front of me that I can give to. I'm not trying to see all the people or plan how I'm going to, it's just I'm walking through life. And everywhere you go, there will be people around you that you may be able to give something to if it feels true for you. And it's not, I don't need to give. I don't have to give. I want to give because life calls on me to give in that moment. It's not me. I'm not like, I've got to do something. I'm just like, here's a connection. There's an exchange there. I'm giving something and then I move on. So it's a very different state, a very different energy. So you can just come back out of that if you joined in that with me. But it's a very different experience when you give without needing to receive anything in return. It comes from a place of wholeness. It comes from a place of completeness. It comes from a place of I'm one with everybody else, and we're all struggling in our own different ways, but it's not up to anybody else to save me. I'm not desperately needing things from other people. And similarly, I'm not desperately trying to save anyone else. I'm just supporting people on their journey, whether it's with a smile or with a bigger piece of work or whatever it might be. It's really an equal playing ground. And that's the other thing that really helps. When you're stuck in your own way, you often see yourself as somehow separate and different. Like you're the only one that's struggling, you're the only one that's suffering, you're the only one who's got problems. It's like, no, everybody does. Everybody's struggling in some way or another. And when you can see that oneness and you can see that we're all in it together, it puts you in a much more powerful state. Because if you put yourself above or below other people, you immediately separate yourself and you immediately cause yourself more problems. I'm not better than anyone else. I'm not worse than anyone else. I'm just me. And there are people out there who are not better than me and they're not worse than me. They're just them. And everyone's going on their own journey and we're all doing it together, and we can serve each other and support each other in whatever way is true for us. It may be cooking a meal for someone, it may spend a little bit extra time with your kids, it may be helping someone at work, I don't know, it could be anything. But it's these little acts of selflessness, of giving, that can really raise your vibration and raise your frequency and stop you focusing on yourself so that you will naturally, without trying, rise out of that funnel that I just drew for you, which is me, stress, 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 me, up to oneness. You expand your perspective. When you're stressed, you go into a hole. The resolution for that is not to stay down there, it's to open back up to society, to other people, to oneness, to service, to giving, to support. That is one of the problems in modern culture. We're so disconnected from each other. And when even being connected on here, it's not the same as being connected in person, looking someone in the eye, sitting with someone, sharing a moment of existence with them, serving them, loving them, caring for them, helping them. That's what heals. That's what creates oneness, wholeness. The definition of healing is to become whole. Oh, hello, Umesh. Hi, darling. How are you? No worries for being late. There's no time. I mean, I have my timings, but it's just people can jump on whenever. How are you, lovely? I hope you're well. Let me know. Let me know how you're doing. What's going on for you? Is there anything I can help you with? I didn't think about doing that, in these sessions is really just rather than me gabbling on, is talking about anything I can help you with. But I was just talking to Mesh about how to get out of your own way, and the answer is to stop focusing on yourself. Stop focusing on what can I get, what do I need, what's my problem. And I'm not saying that you don't acknowledge your problems and so on, but I'll come back to the line that I said earlier, when you can't take any more, give. And that can be so hard when you're struggling because all your brain is telling you to do is focus on you. And so you have to master your focus and your consciousness and say, no, I'm going to focus on something else. I'm going to focus on other people. I'm good, thanks, Umesh. I'm all right. I'm all right. Life, hey, you know how life is. It's it's never all one thing, right? That's the other thing. We can't always be happy, always be good, always be high vibe, always be creatively in flow and blah blah blah. We go up, we go down, we go up, we go down, we go up, we will go down. And it's about learning to ride that wave, learning to go through life in that way and not stay in any particular state or try to stay in any particular state because it's not possible because vibration, life is energy and vibration is movement. Everything is always moving, including you, your energy. You're always moving and evolving and shifting, and every millisecond, even smaller than that, nothing is exactly the same. Everything is moving in my body, in my cells, and energy and consciousness, the world. Everything is constantly, every tiny, tiny speck of existence is completely different from the one that follows it and precedes it. So it's about being here in that flow and learning to navigate it. You can't fix it. The more you try to fix into a rigid structure and keep it that way, you're fighting life. You're going against the current of life. And that's going to hurt you because you're fighting against what is natural. Natural is movement and change and flow. And I seem to be getting funny. Am I still there? Amesh, can you tell me if I'm still there? Because I'm getting funny pop-ups all over the place on the screen telling me I'm not there. It says reload. All my internets are going funny today. I'm getting reloads on the Instagram, pauses. I'm getting pop-ups saying reload your StreamYard. I don't know what's going on, but it's all good. Amesh, if you don't mind telling me if I'm there or not. Um, anyway, it is what it is. But yes, as I was saying, navigating life, it's about the I am there. Thank you, Umesh. Thank you. Yeah, it's about that, right? That navigation of the flow of the constant change. You can't fix things in place. Like you can create structures in your own consciousness that you can work with, but ultimately, I think everything's always fluid, everything's always changing. And the desire for control, the desire to be able to control everything is the greatest source, one of the greatest sources of suffering because you have no control. I was just swearing. I try and not to swear on these things. But you have no control. You don't have, like, just let that sit in. I don't have control. Like, what do you really have control over? You have a choice. You can choose where to focus. You can choose where to put your time. You can choose where to put your energy. You can choose your actions. You can choose your words. But beyond that, you don't really have any control over life. And that can either be terrifying or liberating or both. And I think different parts of you will find it in different ways. Like your ego, your identity will be terrified by that. Your soul, your heart will be liberated because it's true. The truth shall set you free. So that's another way to get out of your own way, is to stop trying to control it. Umesh, thank you for the question, my sweet soul. Can we truly give selflessly without expecting to receive? I don't know if you were here for that bit of the conversation, Umesh, but yes, you can. But I think we don't realize because you've got to be very sensitive to your energy. Okay, it's in the energy. get into that for yourself. Like imagine yourself giving something to someone. Imagine giving someone a gift because you want them to give you a gift back. Just imagine yourself doing that, Umesh. Can you get into the energy of that? What does that feel like? What does that look like for you? So you give them a gift, you're waiting for their response. You want to know that they liked it. You're worrying what they're thinking about it. And then you're sitting there and you're focused on when they're going to give you something back. What will they give you back? Did they appreciate it? Did they value it? Did they value you? Are they going to give you something? And feel the energy of that. That is the energy of giving to receive. But now let's imagine yourself, Ramesh, giving a gift because you love giving a gift. Maybe it's a gift to a beautiful little child who isn't going to go to the shop and buy you anything because they can't. They're not getting you a gift, they just are receiving. And imagine when you give from that place, it's the joy of giving. It's the joy of seeing them receive. It's the joy of them lighting up, opening that gift and being so grateful. It's the joy of just receiving a thank you hug or whatever it is. And it's the joy of the giving and watching them receive that is the beauty of that. So that energy is completely different to I'm giving you something. Do you like it? Are you going to give me something back? Versus, oh, I love giving you this and I love seeing you enjoy receiving it. You got to sense the different energies. Everything is energy, everything comes down to energy. It's not what you do, it's where you're coming from. That will determine your entire life experience. It's not what you do, it's the energy from which you do it, the intention from which you do it. So you've got to start getting sensitive to what it feels like in you. And we do it by visualizing and getting into that state, stepping into the two states of consciousness. Step into this one over here, which is I'm giving to receive. What does that feel like? What does that look like? Imagine it, visualize it. I'm giving because I love giving. Oh, what does that feel like? What does that look like? And you'll be able to sense once you learn what that feels like in you, you can start to do that in your daily life. When you sit down to do a piece of work and you're giving something to a client, sense your own energy. Where am I coming from while I'm doing this? Am I waiting for their approval? Because that's something you want to receive. Am I waiting for them to say, good job? That's a receiving that you want something back. Am I waiting for them to pay me? I mean, I know that's a transaction, but still, it can sometimes be a desperate need. And so, or am I doing it because I'm serving? I'm serving and I'm creating and I'm giving and it's a totally different energy. When I cook a meal for someone, oh, I feel like I have to do it. Or is it, oh, I love feeding people that I care about. I love creating, I love cooking, I love whatever it is. I love seeing them enjoy the meal. It's that. It's the energy. And you have to sense that in yourself. I can't make you sense that. I can't define it particularly. But we've got to go back home into our own selves and see where am I coming from. So yes, we can give selflessly, but here's the great thing that happens, right? The more you give selflessly, the more you actually end up receiving. There's a line in the Bible, and it's called the Matthew effect. To those who have, more shall be given. To those who have not, even the little they have shall be taken away. Let's say that again. To those who have, more shall be given. To those who have not, even the little they have shall be taken away. What that means is when I feel whole and complete in myself, and therefore I can give because I'm not lacking in anything, I end up receiving more. But if I'm giving because I'm a have not, I'm not whole, I'm not complete, I need your validation, I need you to love me, I need you to give me something, I need you to care about me, or whatever it is, I need you to do something back for me, I'm lacking, then even what I have will be taken away. So you give from a place of wholeness and needing nothing, and you will get more. But often, Umesh, you receive in ways that are not directly related to the way that you gave. Okay, I'll give you examples from my life. I give a lot. Like I'm doing this right now because I just love doing it and I'm just putting stuff out there. And that's an act of giving. Or I do things in my daily life where I might just help other people because I'm just giving. And I then get a lot of people in my life who pop up and give me things. I've had wonderful souls offer to do twice, actually, it's happened in a few weeks, offer to do a video, make a video for me free of charge. Of just like beautiful, kind souls. I didn't expect that. I've had people, of a holiday is being given to me. Um, I have had people offer me free coaching sessions because they want to just support me through a difficult time. People are giving to me in ways that I didn't ask for, want, because the universe will give back, but it's not like I give you this and you give me that. That's your limited little brain trying to figure out how it works. It doesn't work like that. It's just give, and then the universe will give back in many ways. It doesn't have to be monetary. It doesn't have to, it could be in all sorts of ways. It could be 10 years after you did an act of receive giving something, then your abundance comes back in another form. You don't know that. You can't predict that. And you shouldn't try to. You should just live with an open heart and give what is in your heart to give because you love giving and you love serving and you love supporting and you get the focus off yourself. It's not about you. I hope that makes sense, Umesh, and gives you something there to answer your question. But it's not easy. I'm not pretending it's easy because when you're stressed, when you're struggling, your brain directs your focus towards yourself. You get even more entrenched in the self, in the identity, not the true self, the identity, the ego, the me, the little pinky with all her problems and blah, blah, blah. And that's why you have to know how to raise your consciousness out of that pit because your brain is wired to keep you here, but you have to be the consciousness, the awareness that moves yourself up and out. And that's what self mastery is all about. That's what evolution of your own consciousness is all about. So, as I say, you got to get out your own way. And it's actually really relieving when you stop focusing on yourself. Like I get really bored after a while of focusing on myself. I'm like, I'm so over myself. Do you know what I mean? It's like, get over myself. Like, I'm so over it. And this came through to me last night really clearly, actually, when I was doing a visualization around my goals, was that I get so focused on myself and I separate myself from oneness, from humanity, and it's painful because it's not true. We're not separate. We're all one. And the more you separate yourself, the more it hurts. And so I sometimes have this thing of like I can be very judgmental. I can think that other people should be better than they are, and then I looked at myself. I was like, "Well, look at you. You got enough issues." You know what I mean? Like, what makes you think that you're some kind of like, "Oh, I'm better," or "I'm doing," "Oh, I can judge you." I'm no. I'm just as messed up. I'm just as much struggling. I'm just as much failing. I'm just as much, good as well as all these other aspects. And everyone else is the same. And so the equality of everybody, it comes from here. It's about the oneness. There's a lot of talk out there about diversity and inclusion and equality, and it's great. But what we must not forget is you're aiming for oneness, and that doesn't necessarily mean fragmenting ourselves into more boxes of individuality. Yes, we want to be aware of all the different types, but if what you're trying to get to is oneness up here, you go for the commonality. What is the commonality? We're human. We're human. We're life. We have heart. We have soul. Energy. Consciousness is one. That's where you get oneness and an even playing field of we're all part of that one field of consciousness. So that's what I aim for. At least I try to, but I fall out of it like we all do, right? Because the nature of being a human being is that we are separated. We have a sense of separation, and then we focus on ourselves and we stop realizing that we're one. Um, and yeah, so if you're struggling, my message is forget you, forget yourself, and see what you can do for someone else. See how you can serve someone else, not because you want something back, not because you want to feel better, blah, 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 blah. Just walk through your day and just intuitively guided, just see, is there a smile I can give to someone? Is there a thank you note I can give to someone? Is there a check-in phone call to see how they're doing? Is there a meal I can cook? It can be the tiniest things. Just get out of your own head, out of your own way, and to think about the oneness, the group, the society, and how you can serve. Because I think that we're meant to live a life of service. All of our challenges come from our own selfishness. Is that right? I don't know. It's come out of my mouth, but I'm not sure about it. Don't quote me on that. Umesh says, thank you, you're welcome. Oh, hello, Kira. Nice to see you. How are you doing, my sweet soul? Totally agreeing. Helping others helps us. That's the thing, Kira. It's so true. And this is the thing, in a way, it is a little bit selfish, but it's not selfish, but it is because it's like when you help others, you feel good, you feel better, you do benefit from it, but you don't want to do it to try and feel better. It's just a natural byproduct. It's the most beautiful feeling to help someone else. I did something the other day that I've never done before, and I was really unsure about doing it because I felt like I was going to assert myself into someone else's challenging experience. And I was wary of doing it because I was like, is it my business? But she was struggling so much, and my body was like, go, go, go. My intuition was like, go, go, go. I was like, oh shit, okay, go. So I went and I helped this person. And it was like, I just had such a deep connection with a complete stranger. And she was so grateful, and I felt emotional. And I was like, that's what life is. That's what life is. And that's what I personally yearn for all the time, is that deep connection with others. And I think that's what we're all yearning for. But we've lost it in this fragmented modern society. We don't have community. We don't express how we feel. We don't care. We're so consumed with our own problems and fears. And in that moment where I got over myself, I went in service of someone else for no return at all, but simply because someone's in need and I can serve, I can help, I can try. And my ego said, oh, no, 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 don't do that. And I said, no, do it. My body went and I did it. And I had the most beautiful experience. And it helped me. It helped me remember who I truly am and what I'm really about, which is about that service and that deeper connection with other people. I'm not about, oh, me, and all this stuff, which again I do because I'm human. But when you serve someone else, it might help you remember who you truly are. And that's a really powerful realization to have. So yes, help others to help yourself, but not to help yourself, but just know that when you help others, it will help you as well in your energy, your frequency, your heart will open up, you will raise your vibration, you will feel better, and that's just going to be an amazing experience. So maybe that's something that you can think about. What might you do today or at the weekend or whenever to give to somebody else, and set that intention if you want to. Like, you have to tell your mind what you want it to create, right? So set the intention and say, how can I serve today? How can I serve? Just say, I would like to serve today. And then let it go. And then every now and then you might just want to remind yourself during the day, I would like to serve today. Purely, I would like to serve today. And then let it go to universe. Let it go to life. Let it go to the magic. And then you just got to be aware as you go through your day what pops up in front of you as an opportunity to serve. Just try it out for one day, for the rest of the day. Set your intention. I would like to serve today. And then just be aware. Hold it in the back of your mind as you go along your business. And when you see something, someone that is an opportunity, do it. And just experience it. And getting loads of Facebook likes and thumbs and hearts, which is so sweet. I don't know who it is. So, Tanya, smoking. Thank you, darling. Yeah, it's good to go. I'm glad you resonate. Do you know what's interesting is I'm 44 minutes in, and it's only towards the end that I think I got to the crux of what I was trying to say here today. And this is always the way. Like, whenever I start my creative flow, because I also have to get out of my own way. When I start the live stream, as much as I try and get, or any teaching that I do, or writing, whatever, as much as I try to get into that space of oneness and get out of little Pinky and her ego and her stuff, Sometimes I have to get the energy going and flowing, and then naturally my mind, my ego, my identity moves out of the way, and then I can actually give and flow whatever is coming from the universe to be shared through me. Then it starts to flow, but it takes me 45 minutes to get into it. So you guys are gonna have to hang out with me for a bit longer to get to the gold. Um, Tanya says it happens to me too. The gold is at the end, right? I literally got there right at the end of 45 minutes, which is annoying, but at the same time, I'm like, I love it because it gets there, but you gotta warm up to it and warm up to it. The vessel, a vessel, yes. Oh, I love being a vessel. That's what I yearn for, Tanya. I just know that there are moments where I am that vessel. It's not about me, right? Again, get out your own way. It's not about Pinky. It's I'm a vessel for something and it's living through me. I'm not living life. Life is living me. I had a wonderful quote, Tanya. I feel like you might like this. And it said, I'm going to mess it up because every time I try and say a beautiful quote, I mess it up. But it was something about it's not like you're trying to be God or connect with God in your life. It's like God is experiencing you. God is experiencing what it feels like to be you. God is experiencing Tanya. God is experiencing and creating Pinky. And I just thought, oh wow, that's a whole nother dimension. I didn't say it very beautifully, but it was something like that. And it's just the truth of it, right? Like God is coming through you. Tanya says, exactly. And that for me is the most wholesome, beautiful, aligned experience that I ever have, which is when I know that I've gotten out of my own way and I'm the vessel. When I'm talking, when I'm teaching, when I'm writing, when I'm with someone, whatever it is, it's not about me. It's like that thing I did the other day where I helped someone. It wasn't about me. It was such a huge compulsion. And all I did was hold space. I went to this person and a little child, and I just sat there and I said, "It's okay." And I just sat in silence. And she just took some breaths. And we just sat there and we just rode out this difficult moment together. And I said, "It's cool." And I just held the energy and I held the space and everything calmed down. And then I went on my way. I'd never done that in my life for a complete stranger. It wasn't me. Whew, something's coming through. Pinky, you're needed right now. Not even Pinky. This being is needed right now. Okay? Then you move with it. You go with it. Whatever your intuition, your body, that flow is driving you towards, go do it. And you will be put in a position of service. You will be put in a position of your highest nature. And you'll be put in a beautiful position that will serve someone and serve your own heart. And that is the greatest experience of life. So much love to you as well, Tanya. Thank you, my beautiful, beautiful soul. Presence is the greatest gift of all healers. Oh, it went to me. That went to me. Oh, and goosebumps and emotions. Whew. Oh, God, what have you done now? Here we go. Here we go. That's it. And oh, God. Um, that's what it is, and when I really like allow myself to um go to like who I truly am, it's that healing nature, right? It's that healing thing that I don't let myself do a lot because I get stuck in my head and it's like, no, that's what you are. You're a healer. And that's an energy thing as well, right? It's not about what I'm saying all the time, although words come through that heal, but it's like your presence, your ability to sit with that, hold that space, be with people, and it's like that's what I experienced that day, and I was like, oh, I've come home. It's like that's home. That's who I truly am, and it wasn't about me, right? And yeah, oh God, this why is this? Oh, fuck. Tanya says, take no credit, take no blame. Getting out of your head and into your heart is the name of the game. Oh, I love that. Take no credit. I feel like we should have a little beat to that little song. Take no credit, take no blame. Getting out of your head and into your heart is the name of the game. Thank you, Pinky. You're amazing. You're amazing, Tanya. You've just like, whoa, you've just taken me somewhere else just by being here and sharing your beautiful words. And yes, now we're gonna have a little cry together. Why not? Thank you. Oh man, yeah, I know, I know, I know, lovely. I know, sorry, Instagram people, you can't see all the beautiful comments that are coming through on Facebook. But Tanya and I are just having a little cry, um, because it's about the heart, right? And it's funny you're saying this because I did my visualizations last night on my choices. What came through so clearly is how much I hold my own heart in, my broken heart, and I'm protecting it. And I'm like, oh, I can't feel, I can't, and I'm scared, right? I'm scared. I don't want that pain. I don't want to. And it's like, because I shut my heart off to others, I also shut it off to myself. And all these stresses I've been feeling in these strangers, because I'm not in my heart at the moment. I've been struggling to go back to who I am and be from my heart. And that's a really painful experience. And so this has also taken me back there. So thank you, Tanya. I appreciate that because I needed that. So clearly there was some magic coming from doing my choices and going to that place. And I did that last night, and here you come, beautiful soul, giving me what I needed, which was to remember that of what I am. And I appreciate that so much. So thank you. Uh, Much love, sister, and to you, sweetheart. Thank you. Umesh says, thank you. You're a great soul. So are you, my sweetheart. Thank you so much. Oh, it's a journey. Hey, it's a journey back home. I used to say all the time, I want to go home. I want to go home. And it was a thing in my heart, like, I just want to go home. Like, this world can be so tough. Like, so much pain in me from things I've experienced out there, the struggles, the superficiality of it all, and that emptiness. And I just want to go home. I want to go home. And I used to look up at the stars and the universe and be like, just brought something so magical, mystical to me about home and what we truly are. And that's always my greatest yearning, is to go home. And the thing is, home is in the heart, right? Home is in the heart. I will have an inspiring day, my love. Thank you. I hope you do too. And I'm going to wrap it up for now. So thank you so much, Umesh. Thank you, Tanya. I love you. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for giving me this beautiful experience, which I clearly needed because I was like holding that stuff in, man. It's like, whew, this stuff's got to come out now. This has got to come out. See you, Tanya, my sweet soul. You take care of yourself. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being with me in a very, very impactful moment. Thank you. So I wish you all a lovely afternoon. Go back home. Go to your heart. Give, serve, oneness. Whew, I feel lighter. That's clearly what I needed today. So thank you, everybody. Take good care. I'll see you next week. Mwah.